What's going on, guys? Armand here. Welcome back to the podcast. I have Michael here.
What's up? Michael from Cobalt Studios and Neil's Photography, wedding photographer guy. I have no branding skills, so all of that.
Yep, perfect plug to start off the podcast.
Basically.
We still don't have a name for the podcast.
Working on it.
We picked a lot of cool names, but they were all taken.
Shooting your shot.
Yep, shooting your shot or shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah, that was one that is taken.
Sadly.
I looked at TikTok and it was taken.
There's a couple other ideas, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. We'll figure it out eventually.
But here we are, episode number 3.
Number 3
of whatever this podcast is called, and topic today: the social strain or social media and photography.
The good and bad of social media.
The good and the bad.
Yeah.
And the ugly.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you want to talk about on this topic?
So
we could start with the good.
I would say start with the good, and so kind of jumping into it, I think what I'd be really interested in talking about is how social media affects us all, because I feel like artists are mainly viewed through social media these days. There's other sites, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of platforms, but mainly, obviously, we have the heavy hitters are Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. What other platforms would you say are up there for photographers to be viewed that's still general public, not just specifically for photographers or media creators?
That's not specific to photographers.
Yeah, that everyone goes to
probably YouTube.
YouTube,
yeah,
YouTube, yeah, duh.
I think it's. I think right now it's just YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. That's the big 3 right now.
Yeah.
There's another one that I think Adobe owns. It's called Behance.
Yeah.
You've heard of that
Adobe
one, right?
pushes it all the time, but I've never gone and put any portfolio on there.
That's actually where a lot of art directors look for photographers.
Does the general public use it?
No. You only know about it if you're a creative.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
If you have Adobe. And
if you have Adobe.
Use this.
I mean, SmugMug tried to revive Flickr because that was really popular back in the day.
It was.
That was the old man's Instagram.
Maybe we should start like this. When you first got into your craft, where were you looking for your inspiration, or where were you at?
Flickr. Yeah. 500px was another one.
500px. I remember 500px.
Yeah.
For me, it was DeviantArt.
Yeah, DeviantArt was another one.
I spent all my nights just going through DeviantArt, and you get some interesting stuff.
I guess you could say Tumblr too, maybe.
Tumblr. I wasn't really on Tumblr, but
Tumblr is just for high school kids.
Yeah.
They tried to revive it too, I think, and it's not the same.
All right, so
obviously I don't use it.
Let's talk about the good and the bad, and I think come back to this question at the end, but maybe I'll ask it up front so we can think about it as we go.
Yeah.
But as a creative today, in 2024, let's say you're, an aspiring photographer.
Yeah.
What platform do you think is most beneficial to jump on for your growth?
For your
if you only could use one
for your career,
for you to spread your wings and fly as an artist.
Ooh, probably Instagram. I would say because Instagram has the most eyes on it, even though the algorithm sucks.
And so that's the thing too, is we all have to spend our time where the eyes are.
Yeah.
Right. And that's even if you're looking to reach out to other artists as well.
Yeah.
We're all flocking to one similar place, that big watering hole.
Yeah.
With the pink and the orange, Instagram.
I feel I don't know. Instagram's a tough one because the algorithm is so hit or miss. One day I'll get 200 likes on something. The next day I'll get 20 likes.
Yeah.
And nobody sees my stuff.
Yeah.
So it's it's a little soul crushing sometimes.
Truthfully.
For everyone, but it's always funny when I see huge accounts post my nobody's seeing my stuff. They have 30,000 views.
Yeah, but still, when we're expecting some sort of consistency or something that creatives really don't have at all.
There's no consistency with social media. It's all pay to play now.
Yeah.
Oh, and I saw something. I wanted to bring this up. Mm-hmm. I saw this. I don't know if it's true or not. It's a rumor right now, but it sounds like it could be true. And that's when you're scrolling through Instagram, they're testing it to where you have to take an ad break when you're like scrolling through your feed.
Ew.
Isn't that crazy?
Do they not make enough money? Maybe.
I mean, they totally make enough money,
Yeah.
but like in their mind, they don't make.
I'm
enough
just saying,
money.
do they not make enough money? Yeah, no, they make plenty of money.
Yeah,
So
not
and
paying your creators.
we won't get too deep into that. But I mean, I know creators get paid, but I'm personally not good, never have been good at social media. I'm not good at following these like big constructs like, I feel like I'm playing someone else's game and I've got a lot of beef with authority. So for me, Instagram,
as we all do.
yeah, right. And so if you're not willing to like play the game, it gets really hard.
The way I see social media, like in general, is number one, it's free marketing.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't cost anything to post.
Yeah.
I mean, you have like the verified thing that you can pay for if you want, but I don't think that really does anything, in my
I
opinion.
don't think it does. I don't know.
They're also testing something where there's like different levels of verified, and like the most expensive one was like $350 a month.
I saw that too.
It's like $350 a month.
Yeah.
And that one gets you like the most reach, like the most extra links in your biography, like all that stuff. Obviously way overpriced, but the way I see it is like, number one, it's free marketing, and number two, it's like a way to meet people. So like I met you through Instagram,
That's what I was gonna
technically.
say. I was talking to Rose earlier, and basically, I was saying, like the subject tonight, Armand and I are going to talk about is the social strain, social media, and creativity, and for photography. And I was like, man, like loaded gun. I am like grumpy. I am always so grumpy about social media. And then when I got to talking a little bit, and she's like, well, say something positive. I'm like, I have positive things to say too. And I started thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, I really do though. I met you. A lot of the opportunities, if not almost all of the opportunities that I've had. I mean, and granted, this is where creatives have to go to find opportunities because we all had to flock there, right? But I mean, it is a free platform to use and to connect. Like even people who don't have phone numbers and stuff can still jump on Instagram with internet and
totally
call someone else or DM and, get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
But like,
see, that's another crazy thing is like, you can literally call people on Instagram.
yeah,
It's like it's like a free phone.
it is a free phone.
If you live in like a third world country or something, and you don't have like a cell phone or something.
Just find some Wi-Fi or something.
Yeah, just find some Wi-Fi.
Boom.
That's kind of crazy. I never thought about it. You could also video call through there.
Yeah.
Same with like Facebook Messenger.
So who really needs anything except social media?
Yeah,
right?
all you need is an internet connection.
I mean, I think it's built for us to be dependent upon it, and we really are, though, too, at the same time. But okay, before anything negative, yeah, like a lot of positive. For example, with the studio, we are also very stubborn with like paid marketing because even though I think we're doing pretty well, it's like,
all the eyes are on social media, so that's like the main way to advertise.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't pay to advertise. We use Instagram mainly, and I wish we were more on other platforms, but we use Instagram. We have like between 8,000 and 9,000 followers on the Cobalt account, and so with the reach that gets to, it's not nearly that many people. Obviously, as we all know, it's like 10%, if that. But when we post like workshops and events, like usually we sell out just posting to stories. And if we actually posted on the page, I'm sure we'd sell enough tickets to like be able to keep running our events and stuff like that because Instagram exists. And so, yeah, there's a lot of perks to Instagram, especially when it comes to like community building and things like that. I think we also just have to remember that it's not all about social media because like, when we got the studio, there's this giant wall over here that's like, I don't even know how long that is, like 20 to 40 feet.
Yeah, probably about 40 to 50 feet.
By like 12, I'm really bad, 15 feet. It's a huge wall.
Yeah.
And it was just plastered with nothing but social media, like Instagram tags.
Like at whatever.
And there's like thousands of names on this wall. but it's all based around social media. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so every single person who comes in here, their identity became their @sign, their social
Yeah,
media tag.
it's so
And I'm like,
crazy.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Like, do we not have first and last names anymore? Or are we just
Yeah.
@signs? And so maybe I'm just old again, like
Dude, I feel you.
black coffee old, but I don't know.
So I want to add like an asterisk to like what I said about it being like free advertising.
Yeah.
See, like also building on top of what you said, but like, yeah, it's free advertising. You can post whatever you want. But if you like really want eyes on your stuff, you have to pay for it, and that's like any advertising.
Any
If you
advertising.
want to put out like a billboard on the street, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to pay for it. If you want eyes on your page, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like all these things. So like that's what a lot of people don't get is that advertising costs money.
It does, and it's a lot. It's
It is a
like
lot.
the biggest percent. Go walk around in, the fancy part of your city and just listen to the people with their joggers walking around talking business.
Yeah.
Like literally, I heard a conversation the other day, and he's like, "Oh, well, if we spend this much, then we can afford to do, out of that 200,000, 60,000 in marketing." And I'm like, "Wow, gee, well, see, these are obviously rich people discussing spending that
Right,
big
right.
portion, and like,
But like it's just part of it. It's corporate,
yeah, it's just. And I think a lot of artists aren't too used to money. And so we don't know where we're supposed to put it.
See,
and what
that's
we're
the
supposed to
big
do with
thing
it.
is like artists don't know how to separate like the art from the business.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
That's like another topic.
that is another topic, and that's a rough one because like where's that line?
Yeah, but
But-
it's just another thing that comes into play.
All right. Let's talk about more good aspects of social media. What are some good experiences you've had, like using social media, and do you feel like you use it properly and enough?
I feel like I use it too much.
Yeah. But then again, like for growth, are you using it? Like what? How much do you use social media?
Too many hours per day.
Do you got a number?
Man, I'm probably okay between like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. Can we add Reddit in there?
Yeah, throw it in there.
Okay, Reddit, man, maybe like 4 hours a day.
That's hard.
It's a lot. It's
That's
like
hard.
3 to 4 hours. If I'm not like busy or working or something.
Yeah.
If I'm working, then that number like drops massively. But some of the good aspects of it, I would say, is like you can find unlimited inspiration.
Yeah.
Like when I first started portrait photography, I would look at Lindsay Adler's page, portrait photographer,
course.
and I would just pick out things that like she shot, and I would just replicate it, like in my like studio in my garage.
Yeah, reverse, like,
Yeah,
make it apart.
yeah, just like reverse engineer everything. So really, anything you want to find, you can find on Instagram. You have to do some digging, of course, but it's like you can take things from other people and like make it your own. So I think, actually, I just recommended this to somebody, and that was, if you're trying to become a better photographer, actually, I told this to Pixel Nick,
Yeah.
was, if you want your work to be like flashier or like heavier hitting or, just something that like big clients want to see, just like copy what other people are doing and like make it your own.
Yeah.
Some other good things from social media. I think the biggest one is just meeting people.
Yeah. Connection.
Yeah, connection. Because, like when you move to a new city, what's the first thing you do?
Go, oh man, you look for the other creatives in the area, hashtag
Yeah.
Portland photographer or whatever.
Yeah.
So I did Portland model, Portland photographer, and
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, like when I moved to Portland, I was looking up, okay, like which photographers live here. Let me follow them. Let me try to talk to them. Whatever, right? So I think that's like the biggest thing, and I think that's what Facebook's like original like intention was like connecting people.
Yeah.
Now it's like taking over the world, or whatever,
Facebook is honestly
whatever the new mission is.
I mean, since they have Instagram now, and so like all these different sites, I feel like have different underlining goals besides making money. But like Facebook is way too like hectic convoluted.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a mess.
Yeah.
And so I don't even go back there anymore.
It's all over the place.
It's wild. There's like tabs everywhere, and the groups are insane. And
It's like, it's so much. But
It's too
that before, okay, so when I was in college, this was like 2013, 2014.
yeah,
Facebook was like it. Instagram like wasn't there yet.
I remember.
Yeah. And, you know, when we would have like parties or like get togethers, whatever, it would be like a Facebook invite to the group.
Dude, those were the days.
Those were the days.
days. We're old.
Yeah. And like that's what came after MySpace. And it's like, we're now in this weird like gray area where it's like, okay, Instagram just keeps going and going and going. Like, you know, there were other apps that came around that tried to like replace that. Like right now, you've probably seen it. It's called Cara, I think.
Oh,
Or is
No.
it CARA?
I know what you're talking about. I've seen like the little logo and stuff before.
It's like a competitor Instagram app or something.
There's always something coming through.
Vero was another one.
And of course, there's TikTok.
Yeah, of course, there's TikTok. TikTok was supposed to come out with their like Instagram competitor.
Well, I don't like a different app.
Yeah, like a photo only app.
They have because they have photo option on TikTok.
They
I'm
do.
really, really bad at TikTok.
I kind of like TikTok more than Instagram.
I can't even find shit on. I'm bad at it. I can't find where my messages are. I feel like my great grandma, just like, what is this?
Dude, the first time I opened TikTok after being like, no, like I'm never touching TikTok. The first time I opened it, it was just like dance videos
Right in
and like
your
everything
face.
was moving really fast. And I'm like, what is going on with this? I'm like, this is like too much.
It's designed for zero attention span. human
Literally
beings.
zero.
We are de-evolving.
We
In
really
my
are.
honest opinion, it's going backwards.
Yeah.
And TikTok is like the perfect evidence.
See, that's the biggest problem, I think, is the attention span part.
Yeah. So you I don't know. I would love to see the insights on the videos you make because I just put like I'm not a video guy. I have my photos, right? But I'll put stories and I'll occasionally put like a phone video or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying my best to get out there and push myself like other people.
If
But-
my videos, I don't want to cut you off, but if my videos are too long, like, you know, 1 minute, minute and a half, something like that, it falls off. Like the watch time dramatically falls off after 15, 20 seconds.
Dude, mine are like the average time is like 5 seconds, and I'm like, I
Damn.
don't even get to anything. What?
Right?
So
Like the video's just starting up.
yeah, and of course it reaches the right people that watch it.
Yeah.
But
Like all of our friends will watch it.
Yeah, but yours are like, to hear that because like the video you sent earlier to like our group chat and everything was so intense. I really hope that everyone actually watches all the way through because there's so much effort.
Yeah.
They got cool ass transitions in there with dresses
Yeah.
flowing and so it was clean. And so, but like
Stoked
it's
on that video.
it's insane. I think the part that hurts me the most is I think the biggest beef that I have is honestly like how much time is required, and I mean Instagram just gets to sit like these all these big social media brands out here or apps. They get to just like smile and rake in the dollars and watch us obsess over it, but really it's like there's so many humans competing, you know, that like whoever's willing to put in the most time is like gonna get incentivized, gonna get seen. And so we're all forced to kind of meet this standard. And so we're like out here slaving to create as much as we possibly can, and there's not enough time in the day because someone's always willing to grind harder.
Yeah.
Like especially people who might not have as much going on or people with money can hire someone to do it. So these solo creators out here, it's like a serious struggle. Do you think as a solo creator, like there's a solution to competing with people who maybe have more time on their hands or might be able to hire someone to put in the work for them?
Okay, so I was kind of thinking about this recently, and I think the solution is do something that's easy and repeatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, especially if you don't have money to like hire things out, or you know you don't have tons of free time, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like when I was making YouTube videos, I was trying to put out one video per week, right? Whether it was like a review video or
Anything
like
to
a-
put face though, right? Just to
Yeah, like I was reviewing like cameras or like what's in my bag or like we're talking about the new firmware for this drone or whatever, right?
yeah.
And it was just so much work. It was like hours, like just for one video, because you have to like film it, you have to do all the B-roll, color it, edit it, you
Simple
know.
stuff too. Even the
Yeah.
simplest things like trying to make a TikTok sometimes. Like I don't know what everyone else's responsibilities are, but like for me, I mean, I've got 3 kids, I've got this business, I've
You
got
have
the other
no- you have
business.
zero time.
I have literally no time. I've got all the baby drool on my shirt right now because
We're filming this at like 11 o'clock at night.
This is 11 o'clock at night. I've been up since 6, and so like for some people, finding time is really hard. But I think like I'm kicking myself right now because I'm not. It's still hard, but it's not as hard. Some people, especially creatives, are so particular about what they want to share, what they want to put out there, that they just won't share at all. And I spent years feeling like if I were to share, it would either be like imposter syndrome, like what do I have to say that someone else hasn't say? It's a waste of time. Or I'll make something and I'll look at it for so long that I'm like, it's not good, and then you don't share it. But really, just like putting face to it or doing something is like the goal, right? Even with this, all you and I have to do is sit and talk about our feelings like we would anyways when we hang out.
Yeah, this is our therapy session.
Yeah, this is really is kind of. Oh man, is that what this is?
Yeah,
we
dude,
needed this, didn't
This
we?
is therapy for dudes. This is what it looks like.
This is therapy for the. Thank you, Armand.
Anytime.
This is nice.
How does that make you feel?
Like a little lighter, honestly, like a feather.
Tell the audience how you really feel about social media.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I wish that.
I kind of hate it too.
I wish
honestly.
the internet would blow up and we'd be forced to go meet in common places and share our thoughts and feelings in person because, like, man, it's so much better. And okay, here's the other thing about social media that really harms us, and that is that, like, if I didn't know you, I love your stuff. Right. So if I didn't know you, I would just be nothing but intimidated, or then I'd be like, oh, my work's not good enough. But when I meet you and know you in person, I feel
Yeah.
inspired. Like I could create like Armand. I could do this. And so it's like, yeah, with your landscape stuff, man, like, and then going to hang out with you and seeing what you're doing, I'm like, I could learn from you. I can,
Like,
but
I'm not like reinventing the wheel or anything. Like
Right?
it's all easy.
right. And same, like when I like Dan, I think,
Yeah, Dan's great.
Dan is such a good portrait photographer, and I get to hang out with him and see that. So I feel like because of Instagram, though, and this big separation, it like puts this distance between like what am I trying to say? This distance between like reality, and it feels like these things are unreachable, right?
Kind of. Well, it depends what it is.
I don't know. Let me get there. Like, there's all this inspiration, right? And we could use it as inspiration, but when we're just seeing it and we're just seeing the like and follow count and we're just seeing people doing really well while we're down here on the bottom, it feels like I can't get there. But then when you meet the people in real life and you're hanging out with them, and you're like, these are just people like me, dude. This is reachable. This is doable. This is possible. And so many of us, though, and like even me for so long, I worked alone. I didn't know anyone. And so I just felt like in a rut. Like I felt like giving up all the time because like I'm not good enough, right?
You know, it's interesting because like our generation, like early to mid 30s, I feel like a lot of those YouTubers and Instagrammers and all that, they're starting to like move away from it. They're like they're done with it.
Yeah.
You know, because we've been on social media since like, well, I've been on since like 2009.
Yeah.
You know, so that's going on like 15 years now. It's boring. I'm done with it.
It gets, well, and two, like you were talking about with processes, a lot of us, we have to just like kind of repeat a process. And so
It turns into a 9 to 5. And then it's like there's no difference, but you're doing this 9 to 5 alone.
and that content probably exists for most types of content already.
Yes. Okay. That's another thing is like art has turned into content.
Oh, people have content days. I'm like, oh
like
my.
content days, we just got to like pump this out. And I'm like,
Is this not a job? Is this not just normal 9 to 5 stuff? That's not art anymore.
that's what
right?
it turns into.
Is this another subject?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's like kind of on the same topic because,
Social media created that.
social media created that. Like the photo shoot, like the group shoot we just did.
Yeah.
We had 20 people there, 10 nine and a half. I'll say 9.5 because I was doing video and photo.
Yeah.
And 10 models. And we were all there for content,
Yeah.
right? Like if Instagram and social media didn't exist, would that group shoot have made any sense?
Dude, oh my.
So that's the question.
I feel like yes. So for me, I know that I'm there. I can't speak towards everyone.
Would we all have just, went there for fun?
I didn't think about that like that. Like
Yeah.
I would still be doing photography regardless. And so in my brain, like I'm looking through my picture. We had this big group shoot the other day, right? Like you said. And as I look through the pictures, I'm like thinking about, okay, maybe we could like work to publish this, or like maybe some of us could publish it as a group.
Yeah.
Or I really want to make a show, and so it's good practice to start like competitions, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't look at it like content day, but of course we have to post and do all that. So
Yeah, and we have to like semi-embargo it, like everybody will wait till this day to post, you know?
Well, while you're at it though, like you might as well cut it up and throw it on social media because it's still reach. It's still getting to people.
Yeah.
But like, what is the ultimate goal? I think that's what that comes down to. What is the individual's goal with creating art? And it should not, in my opinion, be just for social media.
Yeah.
Like,
So like for myself, I'm going to shoot landscapes like forever, until I'm dead basically.
yeah.
And like everything I do, like I do it for me. I don't do it for social media. I don't have I never shoot anything with social media in mind. I'm just like, oh, I know this is going to do well on there, but like ultimately I want to see it on my website or my wall.
Yeah.
And like that's as far as the thought goes.
That's an artist.
Yeah.
And then I think same as we talked about AI before, or like some creators, I think like the waters really get muddy when people are out here just like making constant content because it floods these platforms where we're supposed to be viewing art, but it's just all this like either crappy content or AI because someone's trying to get as many followers as they can so that they can sell something or whatever their like goals are, right? Or to just grow a fake following so they could like flip the page. I don't know what people do, right? But
if you look at the evolution of Instagram, it's really interesting.
Tell me a little bit.
So when Instagram first started, it was just an app to put like filters on your cell phone photos. That's what original Instagram was. And you couldn't upload from the camera roll. So like you had to use the camera in the app.
Okay.
And then it turned into people just taking pictures of their food. And then it was used by like hipsters. That's when the hipster trend came around.
I love hipsters.
Yeah. we live in Portland, the hipster capital.
There's a lot of hipsters.
Yeah.
I kind of am a hipster actually, and I won't accept it. Lately I realized like I have like too many VHSs. Anyways, continue.
I can get on the retro bandwagon.
It's pretty cool.
It is cool.
I think I lived here too long.
I know it's happening, but yeah. So it went to that, and then I think Instagram really took a dive when Facebook took it over, because Instagram was only around for 1 year before Facebook took it over.
See, I didn't know that.
And they kind of stole Instagram. They only bought it for $1 billion.
That would be a steal. I don't even know how much they generate. Like,
oh my God,
billions and billions.
I don't know what the exact number is, but it's got to be like 50 at least.
Insane.
Or maybe like 20 or, some crazy
Google
number.
it if you're listening to this. Just Google it.
Yeah,
It's
just Google it.
Too many. It's
drop it
gonna
in
hurt
the
your head.
comments.
Yeah, that's depressing.
Yeah, and Instagram wasn't even available for Android initially. So it was only for the iPhone.
Yeah.
And, it went from those things to being able to upload from your camera roll. And then eventually they added like supporting videos, because before it was only photos. You couldn't even do a carousel post. It was like a single photo.
They constantly add stuff now,
They
though.
constantly add stuff.
It's
Now you can add like 20 photos in the carousel.
It's gonna get gross, just like Facebook, though.
Yeah. And, you know, they added like video, but it was like a separate app that was connected to Instagram.
Yeah.
So it was like a separate like tab in your page. And if you wanted to watch it, you had to download this other app.
Well, so as like a photographer too, I truly believe in collaborations, and I want to work with creatives of other kinds, but it's like hard with Instagram now because like every photo post has like music on it, and then like everything's about music.
Yeah.
I love musicians.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of talent. I love that it's like usually like a real art form, the type music I listen to at least, like
only use trending audio.
But yeah, and then
it all sucks.
It's bad. It's
all bad, guys. Let's be real. It sucks. Nobody likes it.
Please stop. It ruins. There's some talented photographers out there that use some trending audio, and I just can't even. I gotta go past it. 'Cause I'm like, why would you do this to yourself?
That's one thing I don't like is trends on social media.
Trends is sheep mentality.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess then again, you could say using social media is sheep mentality. But if you're going to use it and you got to get yourself out there, like, yeah, there's all these trends, but
be the trendsetter, not the trend follower.
That's a tough topic.
That's a tough topic.
But
right now, the trend on Instagram is like, what's it called?
I don't know. I don't pay
like
attention.
they're on Instagram stories where it's like add yours, and they have all the different like cutouts. It's like the side of the building and like with your photo on it, and you know, like the artist like painting the thing and it's your photo, and it's like it's too much. It's like every single story is that like add yours, and it just keeps going and going, and I'm like, dude, I don't even want to look at the app anymore.
Yeah, but you have to.
What's your top 6 like from the last 6 months?
I mean, it's hard because not all that is geared. Like I see the ones that are geared towards photographers, but like not all of them are geared towards photographers. And then
it just makes the whole social media experience feel really cheap.
It is cheap.
Yeah.
It is cheap. And we live in it. We have to live in it.
But okay, so the thing is that we're looking at Instagram and social media through the eyes of like an artist or a photographer.
Yeah.
When the majority of the people on the app aren't that.
They're just watching cat memes.
They're just watching cat. They're just regular people. Mm-hmm. And they don't get to see what we're
that's
seeing.
That's why these trends exist for photographers that in a lot of cases, like they step out of the photographic boundary to try to pull people in because we have to beg for people to view our art.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've seen these really talented artists out there do, like, I don't know, like crazy skits and stuff like that. And it's all like, and this was all a ruse to get you to look at my art. And then it like zooms in on the art. And I'm like, damn it, that was clever. That was good.
See, this is where it gets a little murky, is trying to separate like Instagram, the business, from like Instagram, give us our freedom to make art kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously Instagram is a huge business.
Well, everyone is always trying. Like the nature of humanity is to hustle.
Yeah.
Right. And so
there's
never, ever going to be a platform that is popular that just allows us to share art without it being ruined in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So good luck, artists.
Yeah. Even if you look at, X or Twitter, right?
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. Every single app is pay to play.
Yep.
No matter what.
So how do we use it then? Like, how do we take it back in our own way?
You just pay to play.
you either pay to play or just like don't let the numbers get to you, I guess. And I think that's what I've had to learn for me. And that would be my big advice, is don't let the numbers get to you.
I feel like that's the biggest thing, is like everybody is fighting for attention right now.
It's gross though.
It's gross.
Honestly. And like, but that's the thing is like, I feel like even if you go in for castings and stuff, like as a model, it's like I've heard stories of them being like, okay, well, what's your follower count? Like,
yeah,
are you real? Same
thing with actors in Hollywood. They're like, we can't cast you because you don't have a social media following.
Yeah,
they want that
attention.
They want the promotion, aspect of it like built in.
That it puts value on you to have those numbers. Okay, so I guess I'll say it this way then.
There is a way to combat that though.
What is that?
So if you're a photographer, videographer, content creator, whatever, if your stuff is like so good, then your numbers don't even matter. Because like I've gotten jobs, like social media jobs, and I don't even have like the biggest following. I had like under 2,000 followers at the time, but my stuff was so good that they couldn't say no because they're like, we know he's gonna like get
Produce
the job
quality.
done. Yeah, produce quality.
Well, and that's so true too, because like, I mean, numbers gives you promotion value, right?
Yeah.
I've seen photographers out there that get like so like I won't talk numbers because it's too high.
Yeah.
Way too many. Like, and they'll get tens of thousands of likes and stuff on the videos, but it's just them with a 8-second clip on like Lightroom pretending like it's so like, oh, the life of a photographer. And then you'll see people like I'll name drop James Armstrong, for example. He's a photographer here that I love his style. It's like got the
we
medieval
follow
and
each other.
the dark vibes.
Yeah, stuff's cool.
His stuff is sick, and he's doesn't have that many followers, but like, I mean, I would, if I had like a project or something and there was someone who did like medieval work like that, I don't know. I trust the quality of James's work where I would want to hire him just based on like, what am I trying to say? I don't know, like compared to the quality of the other photographers like I'm talking about. It's hard because I can't show you, right? But like the quality of the other photographers that have more attention because they speak into their camera and then put face versus the quality of work that like he puts out, James, I would rather have James. Quality of work.
Yeah. So I'm working on a photo business seminar.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like the biggest topic is going to be quality versus quantity. Because a lot of photographers here, they're portrait photographers. They do like family sessions, senior sessions, all that stuff. You know, when you shoot those things, it's hard to break out of it unless you like totally change your portfolio.
This is true.
And when you're shooting those things, if you want to make like big money, you know, like thousands of dollars per day or per week, whatever, you have to shoot in quantity. And it has to be like easy, repeatable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And the only way you can charge like big money is with like a big quality jump. And to make your work like so good, it goes from like, okay, this is like, you know, regular family stuff to like, okay, this is world class.
Yeah.
And you're like the premium, you know, senior portrait photographer or whatever, right?
So this is actually where platforms like Instagram versus like Facebook or something have it right. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same because you still get your front cover images, but like you're only posting so many in your portfolio wherever your portfolio is anyways, right? And so with
photos
and stuff like that, you should always be focusing on quality. No one wants like a ton of pictures. And we all have the problem. I have that problem doing wedding photography. Like,
it's hard with weddings though.
Well, it's hard because also at the end you don't want to be super decisive, and they want those memories anyways. So that will train you to just edit it all and send it, right? Or however.
Just put a look on it, export it, done.
Yeah, and then the better ones, of course, you spend a little more time on.
Yeah.
Like all those candids and stuff you're sending. But that had trained me to then at portrait sessions to kind of do the same thing. And then since the studio and growing more, I definitely focus now more on quality and try to just send a few, right? But like, no, I completely agree.
Yeah, like for me and like where my portfolio is at now, I literally just have to focus on making one single picture look insane.
Yeah.
You know, rather than like getting like 50 okay photos. Because like, what am I going to do with 50 photos?
Okay, well then here's the issue with social media then and that construct, right? Is photos are not incentivized nearly as much as they used to be, say on Instagram. And especially like since I feel like since TikTok came out, because then like video's the thing. And so many photographers have to post their photos in as an MP4, you know, video, and like it's just like they're like throwing picture.
Yeah,
what do you
just
feel like about when people do that?
It's annoying.
Don't
Stop.
do that.
Just stop doing that.
It's supposed to be looked at and enjoyed. Shit, a picture is supposed to be printed out and like
Yeah.
looked at it and put it on the wall and enjoyed. And just because we have digital cameras and can take a bunch of pictures, like we got to pull back and enjoy the pictures a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, so for example, we're talking about like photographing like snakes with models here, right?
Yeah.
Like my idea is like 2 or 3 photos max and like a video,
Yeah.
you know, because like, what am I going to do with 50 photos of snakes?
Right, but get that video, right?
Yeah.
And then we can still, I don't know, like the videos can still be useful. Or like even doing those like half-second clips, but still like post that picture later or have that focus point or whatever. Like get your BTS and get your content or whatever you got to do because the world is the way that it is and it's not going to change.
So like I'll always like post the photos like with the video at the end.
Yeah.
But then I'll also like post the video as a reel like later, like in the future. Might or might not be on the grid, but like you post it too, just to have something to post.
So I feel like
Because it might be like vertical versus like horizontal.
a lot of people probably also don't stick around doing the craft because they'll post their stuff and it won't get recognition. So what do you feel about maybe using the content like that they created, like the videos or the final piece, the art, more than once? Do you find that annoying when someone does it, or do you like just understand and respect the hustle?
I guess sometimes you just respect the hustle.
Yeah, I do.
Just like reusing photos.
Yeah, so one of my favorite artists.
Do you mean like posting the photo once, then posting the same thing later?
I don't even. Okay, so I'll say it this way: Nona Lehman, like a dark photographer, dark artist, she'll do the same pictures like again. Like I've seen them multiple times, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, like flashback or whatever, and she puts that right on her feeds and stuff, not just in a story or something.
Yeah.
And I have never once been bothered. Like
I think it's okay.
I do too.
Because, you know, that's another way of looking at Instagram is like, okay, are you doing this like for a business and like you just need to like get this post out there to say like, hey, like this is on sale, or like I have this thing coming up, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or is it just like you like it so much that you post it again?
Yeah,
Because for me, I see it as like the artist thing, and I'll never post the same thing twice. I'll do like one vertical, like one horizontal post if it's like the same thing and it's been like a long time. But other than that, like I only post it once.
Man, I'm realizing right now that I'm not sure how I feel about it, because there's a big part of me that wants to say like, no, you're proud of that work. We should post it twice. Like, because Instagram is not meant for like whatever social media platform, Instagram being the big one. Instagram is not meant to be your portfolio. So why not post things twice?
Right.
And if you go way down the reel and you see it again, that should mean the artist is just proud of that picture.
Yeah.
But you put a lot of work into something, why not post it twice, especially after you've grown?
Yeah, see, that's the whole like art versus content thing. It's like, are you just getting this out there to get it out there?
Yeah.
Or is it like, okay, this is like a one post thing? Like, you know,
Okay,
could go down the rabbit hole forever with this one.
for you,
Yeah.
like when someone, if you ask for someone's portfolio and they just give you an Instagram and they don't have, I'm trying to think of the way to say this one too. Okay, what's more legit, when you have your own website, or if you just share an Instagram, is that like fine?
Website, 1,000,000%.
Website.
And I know a friend like this. I'm going to send this video to him because he keeps getting these jobs and they're like, send a portfolio. And he sends his Instagram. And then they're like, no, we need a portfolio. And then he sends a Google Drive link with the folder.
I love that.
Or like Google Photos with like, oh, this is what I've done. And I'm like, dude.
Like, it's not fun to make a website.
Like, guys.
It costs money.
Oh, man.
It's not.
Even if you don't want to do the SEO for it, just have the website. It looks professional. The website looks professional.
You could make an Adobe website, really. In my opinion, like if you're already using Adobe products, for example, and they have, what's their web service called?
I don't know, actually.
They've got one. A bunch of people have that one.
It's not.
Is it Behance?
It might be Behance.
What, again, Google it.
Google it.
We don't do our research before
You know,
these
there's
things.
so
We just
many
talk.
like easy website builders now. There's like SmugMug, there's Squarespace, Wix is like decent now.
I use Wix.
Yeah.
Although Wix was $11 for the premium, and I was reading today that when it expires, the comparable package is $36 a month. So I'm not thrilled about that. I don't know
paid-
if I can move my code, but again, $36 for, well, I have 2 websites through Wix, so that's gonna suck. But
Yeah.
well,
It's a business write-off. It's okay.
yeah, it's true.
That's how I look at it.
If you're running a legit business, then
Because
everything
like here's the
costs
thing,
and
right?
errors.
If you're trying to make an impression to art directors, corporate clients, you know, like real people with money, you need a website.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just dealing with mom and pop whatever or like just regular people, like the Instagram will suffice, but if you want to break away from that and look legit, then you need the website.
Yeah.
I think even as like a wedding photographer, you need the website.
Yeah.
Elopement photographer,
Well,
commercial,
that one's
whatever.
hard, and a lot of people I think would disagree because it's crazy. Like the wedding scene is so like
Oh, it's like social, like
it's a nightmare. That's a whole different thing, and I would love to talk about that sometime.
Yeah.
And have guests on for that one because the wedding world is a different beast, and there's so many couples that honestly could care less. They could just like
they just want the photos for Instagram.
they just want the photos probably for Instagram.
Yeah.
That's how they share things too, right? So
Yeah, they don't even like. They don't. I mean, they print it sometimes, right?
yeah, people print stuff like.
Over the fireplace, kind of thing.
They get books. A lot of people will get like albums and stuff like that. The way that I package my stuff, because I'm so like restricted on time, I don't always see their orders because I allow them to print other places, which is like that's again a different topic, wedding stuff. But I feel like a lot of people do just want to. They're gonna share them mostly on Instagram later, and that's again. I keep saying it, it's a different thing, but there's also like a whole different service out there. It's not always wedding photographers now. Sometimes people just hire like content makers. Literally, they hire people to
Yeah.
come out with their cell phones and record their wedding days and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
there's always those stories of like influencers getting married and you know trying to like get people to come for free to shoot their wedding.
Oh my God. Yeah.
There's a story like that a while ago.
Okay, we'll break away from the topic of weddings, but I will say to anyone who might be planning on getting married at any point, hire a real photographer.
Yeah.
Don't mess around with that one because you think you
You'll
just want
regret it.
Yeah, you're gonna regret it. I hear it
100%.
all the time. We'll talk about weddings another day, though.
Yeah, that's a different topic.
Yeah, that's like over 250 weddings I've got under my belt, and so I've heard so many stories. And
You get what you pay for.
you get what you pay for. True. Okay, but social media and weddings, like sometimes, and this is the nightmare too, because like portfolios are difficult no matter where you look, because people can always just post their best. Now people can post fake stuff. They can post AI created things. So yeah, portfolios these days can be, you know, like you can just restrict what you show. So if you don't have real experience, but you've done like stage stuff, you can go do a staged thing. I see this in weddings all the time. People will go to like staged workshops and things like that, and they'll take those model pictures and post them on their Instagram and just like either repeat post. People even do it with AI, and they just get a following to make it look like a following does not mean review. A following is not
Also
like
doesn't mean you're any good.
yeah, you can have a huge following and be a total fake.
Yeah.
And then either not show up, I'll say on a wedding day or like a big job or whatever. Like this happens mostly in weddings because you can scam couples, especially because couples, they come into this wedding scene, no idea what to expect. And then they can get played by, you know, fakers and scammers.
Yeah, totally.
And so I don't know what other industries and whatnot that can happen in, but a following.
It could happen in any industry.
Yeah, right. But for anyone who's looking at a follower count, that doesn't mean anything. It
used to.
it used to, but I don't think about it when I'm thinking about like what someone would provide. If I went out and needed a photographer or a videographer or something for a job, I don't give a single crap
Yeah.
what their
So the
follower
big
count is.
like social media boom happened, I think, between like 2017, 2018, or like 2016 to 18. That's like when we really saw like a huge jump in social media, especially with like a lot of like travel influencers and just influencers in general, and a lot of these companies were hiring them purely based on their follower count, and the quality was just not there.
Yeah, because like
Because a lot of them didn't know what the hell they were doing.
artists need to prove their work through their art, not through their counts, right?
Yeah.
And so also what it says to me, and this isn't always true because there's really talented artists that amazing work or the way they present it, they might just be really good at, two things could mean a big following. But I've met a lot of people who have really big followings that honestly their work is trash. And the people who aren't spending all their time on social media, but rather they're spending their time in their art could have no followings and aren't getting attention or barely being seen, and they're just hidden in the shadows. So like, it's really unfortunate that most people are looking for their artists through places like social media because social media requires all this time. And there are really good artists out there that simply don't have the time to do that part of it.
Yeah.
So
It's a tough one.
it is a tough one. And it's kind of scary for artists, honestly, social media. But also, yes, it can be a great tool. But I think that is in terms of connecting.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I've met a lot of great people through social media. And so,
Yeah, same.
as much as I dislike social media, I hate social media, that is true. I'm also, in a weird sense, very thankful for it.
I think if Instagram actually comes out with the ad break thing, that'll be the Instagram killer right there. Like, can you imagine if like you saw like 3 pictures, then you have to watch like a 15-second ad,
I'm never going back.
right? Like you would never go on Instagram again.
Yeah, I would just delete it.
You would literally only use it for messages.
And I'd probably then spend a lot more time actually upgrading my real portfolio on my website instead of wasting my time on Instagram because I'm behind.
Yeah. And like I've gotten hired by a lot of like big companies.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them has ever mentioned social media.
Yeah, because, okay, so if you want to work for big companies or you want to work for legit
You send
names,
your real portfolio.
you send a portfolio. It's about who you connect with. So again,
Yeah.
if you're going to use Instagram, make it for connections, but then also focus on the world outside of that. Because the big players, like, yeah, they need content for Instagram and stuff, but when they want an ad, I don't think they're looking on Instagram, dude.
I've barely gotten any jobs from social media.
I've gotten almost none.
Yeah.
I've gotten most of so for wedding work, it's through that big mogul, which we won't mention or talk about, whoever runs the wedding industry,
Yeah.
Wedding Pro. Okay, I mentioned it. Terrible.
Exposed.
And so, because I like to put my time into the art and the other side. I have too many Instagrams and whatnot, but so I don't do any of that through, like, my wedding Instagram is rarely touched, and I make a really good amount of money working, not touching Instagram at all.
Yeah, because okay, so another thing is like if you're trying to reach like regular everyday people, like like wedding people or like portraits, senior portraits, like things like that. A lot of people don't go to Instagram for those things. They go to Google.
Yeah, no, seriously. So think of it this way. We're also, like, a lot of us, especially starting out now, a lot of people forget about that side of things, like Google and SEO. And so they're really worried about, following means work. And that is true to an extent. But I think Instagram is so saturated that, like, say in my field with work, weddings, right? It makes a lot more sense to focus on Google and SEO and hustling in that direction rather than this super, like, that's still saturated, but it's not as saturated, and you don't have to constantly be doing it all the time. You can put your focus other places.
Yeah.
Come in, do a blog post, work on your SEO. There's other secrets I won't talk about to be able to climb and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you actually put the time into raising your presence on, like, search engines, It's
so much work.
But you can also get really successful through Instagram if you're willing to be extremely consistent. If you've got the time, all right.
I feel like you're either going to get all or none of your work through social.
If you're doing something though, and you're really, really, really willing to put in time, like for example, I don't know if it's appropriate to name drop this one, but I was talking to someone, an SFX artist, about another SFX artist, and that other SFX artist is doing really well because of their online presence, right?
Yeah.
And then they get like commissioned through TikTok, but they have to produce like 3 videos a day.
That's crazy.
Think about how taxing that is.
That's 21 videos per week.
Yeah, what if you want to take like a break? You know,
Yeah.
and sure they could be short videos, but you still have to think of something new and relevant, or even if it's repeatable or whatever, you have to be like, you can't forget. Like all the time I'm
Yeah.
doing a new shoot, I'm like, oh, I'll get that BTS for social media. And then I get into it, into my craft.
Yeah.
And the last thing I think about is social media. I'm like, oh, the light's so beautiful. I'm going to focus on my pictures and my art. And I just forget and blank it out. Imagine having to like essentially dual task constantly all the
Yeah.
time. Oh, can't forget my videos.
I mean, that's pretty much what I do.
Oh, it's rough.
It is rough, and it's a lot of work.
Does it take away from your art, you feel like?
Not really, because I don't know.
Not too distracting?
Not really, because when it comes to like the BTS, I just whip out the cell phone and get like a couple seconds of video.
It's
So it's like easy. I don't make like BTS like a whole production.
Yeah.
Like maybe like you do.
No, I got like the rig for my cell phone that you put on top of the camera at one point, and I tried doing that for a while, but
Yeah.
I just found it distracting, and so I took it off.
Yeah. I mean, you could, but I don't know if that's necessary.
It's probably not. But it reminded me, because every time I look at my camera, I'm like, what's this thing? Oh, yeah, my cell phone.
Yeah.
Just attached to my shit.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, okay, the art is like the main focus. If there's time, I'll get like some like cell phone like photos and video, whatever. But then like I'll shoot like actual like pro videos, and then that could like technically be like something I'll put on my story, right? But yeah,
Oh, man. All right.
there's just like there's a lot to it.
So we could talk about social media forever and ever.
Forever and ever.
We could rant, or we can like talk about like nitty gritty specifics, but in the end, it's kind of, unfortunately for most creatives out there, a platform, or these platforms are something we have to use. Whatever one you use, there's too many. Like
Yeah, so I think we've concluded social media good for community,
yeah.
not so good for actually getting paid jobs.
Honestly, and I'll add to that really quick. Great for community, especially.
Yeah.
So
It's like the number one, I think.
the best thing that ever happened for me with social media was when Rose and I started doing all of our group events, and we do some really awesome group events. If you're around Portland, Oregon, you should join us for some camera-centric days. And all that community is like fished through, except a few who I've met in person, but it all comes from social media
Yeah.
and people sharing things. And so like, if you really tie into something like local or community, I feel like really helpful. Or if you're really, really, really willing to push and drive and do it constantly, you might reach a big, wide spectrum of people. And then, I mean, I've seen people do some crazy things with social media, but they were really committed to it.
Totally.
And like, but yeah.
Because like another thing, I know we're trying to wrap this up, but another thing is that no company is like going to reach out to you and just be like, you know, here's $1,000, make some content, like on social media. Like it doesn't like ever happen like that.
No, I feel like
Very
social media,
like rarely ever. I guess it could happen, but like 99% of the time, not happening.
with how much content we're forced to make to compete with all the videos and all the things that are happening, and like companies have to make more and more too. Like the smaller companies, I feel like aren't even willing to pay for quality material anymore.
Yeah.
And so like it'll still happen. We have a couple of brands that we'll work with that will like pay like for Rose to model and me to photograph or whatever, like
Yeah.
clothing brands and things like that. But I feel like a lot of the people that I see, like they have to push so much that they don't have a budget for it. And so they'll just be like, oh, well, collaborate, work for free.
Yeah. So when I started traveling in 2018, I literally thought like if I started traveling and posting like cool travel photos, I would get like thousands of followers and the brands would just come to me.
Yeah.
Like I literally thought that, and guess what? It did not happen.
That's the dream though, right?
That's the dream, because that's what we saw, and like that's what we thought would happen.
That person.
Yeah.
I guess the real thing is then try to connect with someone who's done it.
Little did we know you have to like cold email people and like actually put in the work behind the scenes and put together media kits.
Truly,
and, you know, all these things that influencers don't want you to know, but it's behind a paywall now. They're like, oh, I did it. Like, let me sell you this $200 course on, you know, how to gain followers and this and that. And you know what? It doesn't work. Straight up. Just does not work anymore.
Dude. Yeah, I've seen people spend like, especially again on like for me on the wedding side, I hear a lot about it. I've seen people spend thousands of dollars for packets, and I'm like, that's okay. Okay, I don't even know how to wrap this up because we literally could talk 4 hours about social media. But yeah, community
connections.
But don't. I personally, at least me, wouldn't suggest making it your life because I feel like I've met some people who have super giant followings. I've known someone really close that had millions of followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
And the lifestyle, once you get there, it seems like glitz and glam, but
it's not.
It's not. It's actually it's really messed up and depressing, and you're kind of like you become like a slave to it. And so
I think it depends on the genre too.
Well, I've known people in different walks of it. Like the TikTok person kind of had mixed. Some of it was really sexy, and then some of it was like almost like cosplay of movies and stuff like that. And I don't think she was very like I think she still does it. I don't pay attention anymore. But like it didn't seem like she was too thrilled to be doing all that at the time. Because you get
gets boring after a while.
Especially if it's sexy, right? You get the wrong kind of attention probably, and it sells and it's money, but then it just becomes a business. And that's something we're going to talk about at some point, separating art and business, and is it even fun anymore is something you keep saying. But if you rely on social media, then you do have to commit to it. And if you can build yourself with organic presence or like SEO and Google, then you could walk away.
Yeah, totally.
And you could, the same person, so for my industry, wedding photography, the same person has been number one, and her site has hardly changed. And I've reversed indexed it, I've counted words, it's hardly changed. And then her business model actually became selling like SEO courses, but the amount of inquiries she would get for weddings would sustain just from her position existing where it exists. And like that is stability. That is the dream.
Yeah, that is the dream.
But Instagram?
Nah.
Social media?
You know, it's like the classic question, like if social media went away tomorrow, would you still have a business?
Do you think Google's going anywhere?
Google? No.
Google will never go anywhere. Instagram? Think about Facebook.
I think Instagram could go away.
A decade ago, what was the it?
Was it Facebook?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
What year are we in? 2024?
Yeah.
A year ago?
I think Instagram is like, they're always treading on thin ice because they're always come out with like, oh, one new feature that everybody hates, or like one new monetary thing that people are like, oh, hell no.
So search engines, they won't opt out. They won't go anywhere.
No, they won't.
Social media,
could
be gone tomorrow. And all of your life efforts could just be for naught.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Be careful where you spend your time. And like, honestly, the last thing I'm going to say is if you are someone who thinks they're willing, like say you have the time right now and you're willing to commit all your time to something like social media, what if life changes? Like, what if you end up being a family person if you're not already? Like, or what if you like have a kid or two or three or seven?
Michael.
Yeah. Hey, me.
Hopefully, you just keep it at 3,
Is-
not 7.
yeah, you can't. You think you can keep up on the same stuff you're doing now? It's like not going to last forever.
Yeah.
But if you want to be like just an individual who's solo and you're going to keep going that way and you have the time and you think you can keep that time for a decade and that's your stability, then cool. And you can make a big name through social media and then hold on to it too from the connections you meet. But take those opportunities as they come. Don't just worry about following and count. Don't be a lone wolf. I'm going to shut up now.
Yep. So basically, moral of the story is make art for yourself, not for the internet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a great moral.
That's a great moral. And with that, thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah.
We're going to end it there.
Rant over.
Subscribe. Let us know what you think. And what should we name the podcast? Still looking for a name.
Drop those comments, please, and thank you.
Drop the comments. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Till next time.
Later.